Good afternoon. Welcome to the October 20th meeting of the Parks and Recreation Board. First item on the agenda is considering approval of the minutes of the October 6th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. First item on the agenda, considering board approval of Parks and Recreation Strategic Business Plan.
Yes, Commissioners, you have a memo in your packet that outlines the efforts that have been put into this strategic business plan, and Richard Allen is the person that's been shepherding it since the very beginning. So, Richard.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today, we're just requesting final approval on the strategic business plan for Parks and Recreation. This plan was prepared by a pros consultant. They work closely with the Parks and Recreation staff. Basically, they asked three questions. Where are we as a department? Where do we want to be? And then how do we get there? I mean, those are the three main things from the plan. But the process is they looked at the current plan. They compared us to other cities, Austin, Texas, Minneapolis, Little Rock, Springfield, Greene County, St. Louis, Wichita. We evaluated all 220 parks. We did a web-based survey for the citizens. 4 workshops was held with the board. We had 4 public meetings that were throughout the city. We had one at NNI, Main Core, and then at the 3 Trail Center. The plan defines the mission and vision statement for the department. And the 4 key areas of the plan was to look at parkland and trails, recreation facilities, recreational programs, and then operational and financial sustainability. The plan also identifies vision statements for each of those 4 key areas. And then it states goals and identifies action plans for each of those 4 key areas. Key deliverables from the consultant are 10 hard copies of the plan, electronic copies of the plan. The appendix included public forum results from the public meetings, the park inventory summary, just a quick summary of the 220 inventories of the parks, inventories for each of the individual sheets, parks, the 5-year capital plan, which is approved each year by the board, and then the action plan to implement the plan. Also, executive summary, and then something that we're working on is a condensed marketing document. The distribution of this plan to the public, the way we see that, it'll be made available on the KC Parks website later this year, and then also we'll develop a marketing document that we can hand out at meetings later this year. And this plan will carry us through 2025. We should probably start on revisions again in 2020. And with that, kind of open it up for any questions.
Are there any questions? Alan?
Just a comment. I think it's a really good document. I really like to see the inventory of other parks, and it's good to see all that and be compared to our peer cities too. And
Okay.
I just think it's a very thorough document. I'm excited about it. Thanks for your work on it.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
agreed.
Any other comments, questions? Would entertain a motion for approval of resolution number 30515.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Considering board approval for the Pershing Road Streetscape Improvement Plan.
Yes, Commissioners, we had a pre-board presentation on this project. I believe it was just 2 weeks ago, and we were here today for formal approval of the plan. We have a memo in your packet from Travis. But I also know Jimmy's the PM on the job, so who's going to speak?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Again, this is a project as part of the Missouri Department Finance Board project that Union Station is working on. This is the city's contribution towards that project, and it's streetscape improvements along Pershing Road on the north side. If you have any questions, I do have Neil Agrisano from Burns & Mack, who's the design professional for Union Station. But again, we had a presentation last park board meeting, but if you have any more questions, he's here and he has some boards to show if you need some insight or changes.
I guess the only question, were there any changes from our presentation?
No, there was not.
Great, okay.
I think it looks really good. I'm excited about it. I like how it comes down. I think it's going to be great for Union Station, for that beautiful fountain out there, and interaction with the streetcar around the side. I think it's a good plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve resolution number 30516?
So moved. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks. Considering board approval of amendment number 4 with Cohen and Partners for Washington Square Park design.
Yes, Commissioner, this is ongoing design and exploratory work at Washington Square Park. And the memo in your packet from Travis kind of outlines the details of what this amendment entails. And again, if you have questions, Travis is here to answer those.
Are there any questions?
Can you explain exactly what this extra money, what they'll be doing with this amendment number 4? And just sort of update of where we are with this.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. The Amendment 4, the main cost of that was for the additional surveying that includes that area around OK Creek. If you recall, OK Creek is the
Down
creek that
below.
runs, yes, down below, and also the sanitary or combined sewer system. OK Creek is contained in that system, so it runs from a creek to a pipe and then out again.
Okay.
The length of time that you see, it's a substantial length of time for this, but that's for the economic and fiscal impact assessment to occur because of the numerous partners involved in this project, so.
Again, refresh my memory, who are the various partners in there, and are there options for any others?
I do not have a full list of partners for this. Heather Runkle's project manager on this. She can give you a full list of that, but immediately around the park, you got Downtown Council and Union Station, and then there's the businesses along Main, all the partners across the street. Yes.
The few that are there that we've been having dialogue with is the Lathrop and Gage Law Firm, which is on the east side. Of course, got Crown Center Redevelopment, which of course has the Crown Center hotels and their office complex. You have Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is along Main Street on the east side, and then across from that is you have the GSA just moved into that old Trizac building, so they've got 1,000 employees down there.
I believe there were 17 partners listed at that last meeting
So
that they
those
had
are
done
key.
it, so.
Obviously, area transportation authorities involved because of the MAX and the bus along Grand. Streetcar Authority, Tom Guerin, his folks, because of the completion of the streetcar down there at the intersection. Union Station, of course, is a key player in all this, of course, because they're not only adjacent, but they also own all that property to the north where the parking lot is. So yeah, Travis, I think you're right, it's about when you add them all up. And to some degree, National World One Museum is across the street, and then you've got some crossroads merchants and business people to the north.
So the contract, the extension, the date is a year and a month.
Yes.
So that had not been extended, I guess, for a while. It's a long time.
Yeah, the last one, I think, extended to, February.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, I was just reading the memo here. It was extended in February.
Yeah, that's the last time we've done.
But a year, yeah, you're looking at a year and a month, so it basically runs out this month, so.
Okay.
Any other questions, discussion?
Exciting project. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
On the potential of increasing the business down in that
Yeah.
corridor when the streetcar terminus becomes part of that, and it's just a tremendous potential.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Exciting.
do I hear a motion to approve resolution number 30517?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Considering board approval for an amendment for approval of agreement with Southern Platte Athletic Association, DBA Northland Sports Alliance, for operation and programming of Tiffany Hills Park.
Yes, Commissioners, as I think folks are aware, we finally resolved our issue on the borrowed money for the Tiffany Hills Park. And upon that closure of that, we went out with RFPs, RFQs. And Roosevelt's finding his way to the podium right now, and he's going to tell you the process we went through to select a new operator. Also, I quickly add the item below, number 6, ties into that. So these two kind of go hand in hand, and with that, Roosevelt.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Yes, so this is an agreement with Northland Sports Alliance. Back during the summer, we put out an RFP. We put out 2 RFPs, actually, to operate and maintain Tiffany Hills Park. One RFP was for leagues, so you can to do leagues throughout the week, Monday through Thursday. The second one was for tournaments on weekends. You could respond to both or just one. We ended up with 3 proposals. One that wanted to do the whole thing for both the weekends and during the week, and then 2 separate proposals, one for weekend and one for weekday use. So the committee, we had a small committee, Commissioner Mecklenburg and also the Director Mark McKinley were on that committee, along with Katie Sowers, our athletics director, where we looked at each of those proposals, and we decided to choose Northland Sports Alliance to operate during the week, to operate tournaments there Monday through Thursday. And in this agreement, we agreed upon a revenue split, an 85-15 revenue split, with 15% of the revenue coming back to us in Parks and Recreation. That's estimated at about $27,000 a year. So for the first 2 years of this contract, it'll be about $54,000. We have an option to extend this contract for a 3rd year, so that'll bring an additional $27,000 estimated. This also addresses concessions. There's 2 concession stands there on site. We're doing an 80-20 split with them, so 20% back to us of net revenue. And then also there's some a small fee in there for lights. It doesn't cover the whole light bill on our end, but it does cover some of that. So, as I said, this is a 2-year agreement with an option to renew it for a 3rd. It'll start November 16th and go for those 2 years. So, pretty excited about this. We've had good conversations with them. Just on the maintenance part of it, their part is they mow the inside of the gates, the ball fields. They maintain the fields. They set up the fields, so the mowing, the dragging, the lining, all those kind of things. They're responsible for hiring all the staff that do all those kind of things. So, and our staff, our park guys, maintain outside of the fence line and the rest of the park there. So that's kind of how that one goes. And if you want me to do the second one also, I can address that one too.
Yeah, please do. Go ahead.
All right, so then this next one is an agreement with KC Sports, which is just a little bit different. They are doing tournaments on the weekend, so they'll have possession of the field Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They are responsible for, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they're responsible for that maintenance of the field, just like NSA is, but they've contracted with NSA to actually take care of that. So they'll have one person doing all of that maintenance inside, all the setup inside of the field, which is actually ideal for all of us. And again, our guys will take care of everything outside of the field. They wanted to go with a flat rate, which is, at this point, we agreed upon $30,000 for each year. Again, 2-year contract with a 3rd one. A 3rd year looking at $32,000, so just a little bit more. Again, we're doing 80-20 split on concessions. They've also contracted with NSA to provide those concessions. We also have the light fee in here as well. And this contract also begins November 16, 2015.
Okay, any questions?
No, this looks like a really good partnership and something that Terry was talking about earlier, but kind of getting some revenue generators, so good work.
Thank you.
It's nice to have the
All
cloud.
right.
Yeah, it's a big,
Thank you very much.
huge issue.
Thank you.
Okay, then let's entertain a motion for Resolution 30518 and 30519. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Considering bid award for EAB replacement tree planting and tree watering services, American Lawn and Landscape.
Yes, Commissioners, ongoing with our EAB program, of course, Emerald Ash Borer, a couple things we do. Of course, we do treatment, we do removal, and fortunately, we're able to do some planting. And this one for recommendation is with, indicated in your memo, American Lawn and Landscape. Alice, I believe you're here to answer any questions on this.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
This would be our second contract under the EAB program for tree planting. Last year, we planted a little over 1,000 trees. We're able to stretch that money a little bit. So this year, we're hoping to do the same. But we had 2 contractors bid on it. American Lawn and Landscape has the lowest and best bid in our opinion, by quite a bit, and would like for approval to go with them.
Any questions? Thank you. Do I hear a motion for approval of Resolution 30520?
So moved?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Thank you. Director's report.
Yes, Travis Major, construction, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Should have before you a sheet on Cliff Drive improvements. This project, National Streetscape is a contractor. Scott Obeys project manager on this project. Project started back in October. Originally expected to be complete, I believe it was July of 2014. Now we're looking at completion by the end of this month. This is a LPA project, meaning that federal funds were administered through MoDOT to assist with the completion of the project. It extends from Paseo to Gladstone Boulevard along the edge of Kessler Park, and some of the photos include the concrete sidewalks, the stairs with the stonework. There were 3 of these staircases that were included as part of this project, and 4 of the stone wall sections like you see in the second photograph below. Also included in this project was the making of one-way and for vehicular traffic of Cliff Drive itself. You can see in that top photograph, this is looking from the west entrance over the east entrance over on Gladstone Boulevard, and where the gate's located, and the separation pylons between the pedestrian, which will remain two-way, pedestrian bike will remain two-way, but vehicular traffic will be one-way only. That's over by Gate 4, and Gate 2 is down below, and that's the gate over on the west side of the project, looking east. That allows access to the bike and pedestrian trails within the Kessler Park. Any questions on the Cliff Drive project?
God, the staircase looks really good. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
nice.
This is great.
Was at the ribbon cutting Saturday morning and got to drive it, which I've been wanting to do all summer, so it looks fantastic. They've done a wonderful job, and as the plantings and everything greens up, it's going to be phenomenal. And it's great to see that open again. And the question is, are those other entrances going to be accessible to traffic at different times? I know just from one end to the other, and then there were a couple of entrances that were still blocked off.
That I'm not sure for the vehicular traffic. Are you talking about the
Yeah.
one-way traffic?
Yeah.
I think the vehicular traffic was just on each end of it.
The plan is to keep, for example, on the photograph that maybe look in this Gate 2,
Yeah,
those would always be closed.
those will always be closed,
Yeah, now,
okay.
as you notice on those gates, there's an opening in the middle where you can get either ride a bike or walk through, so pedestrian access is available.
Similar to what you would have on any
Those are
trail access,
the
but
only time cars can go on this are during the day, during the week.
and service vehicles.
good.
So there's obviously, if you need to bring a service vehicle, you have a
Sure.
gate. But
Okay.
we'll see how it works. This is a kind of long time coming, and I think it's a lot of good work put into it from our planning team, and of course, the neighborhood was actively involved in this, and the Cliff Drive Corridor Management Committee, and let's just hope it works.
I'm pleased that we can have both vehicular at limited times and at all times bike ped, and as shown in the photograph, the first 100 or so feet, the pylons are very close together, And then after that, they're spaced at, I think, 100 feet
Correct. 100 feet apart.
to designate the difference. So I think it's well-planned, well-executed, and very, very impressed. Thank you.
Excited.
All right, marketing report, Heidi?
Hi. Well, we got to do a fun thing last week with the Channel 41 morning show. The actor who plays Jerry from Parks and Recreation show is in town. He's here for a couple of months while he's starring in the play at the New Theater Restaurant. And so I got to go on and presented him with a complimentary all-access pass so he could work out at our community centers while he's here in town. And he said, "Work out?" I said, "Well, you can hang out." But that was kind of cool to get to. That was my second Parks and Recreation star I've gotten to meet now. Mark and I got to meet Nick Offerman earlier in the year. Haven't yet met Leslie Knope, and she was just in town.
I saw her on
just here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw her. It was good.
All right. Oh, did you watch the chat or go to the chat?
You got the one with the Kaufman?
And Paul Rudd was the surprise host.
Yeah, that was
His
pretty cool.
mother was in charge of it,
Yeah,
and he was in town for the game.
of course. Very cool. So anyway, so that was some good publicity for our all-access pass, which we have had at a reduced rate through the 17th of October, and we'll do a reduced rate on the all-access pass again through the holidays, like we always have done. So this last weekend, as you know, we had the opening for the Cliff Drive. Ribbon cutting at the West Gate for that. And then we had our event called Locktober, which was tied in with the opening of the Minor Park Connector Trail. And that was a good time, a good turnout, I think a decent turnout at both of them, particularly on Kansas City Marathon Saturday. So getting around the city was quite an event. This weekend, or actually tomorrow, or Thursday, I wanted to let you guys know the Sporting KC Club has invited you to an announcement that they will be giving at Starlight Theater this Thursday at 5:45. It opens at 5:30, and it's at the Applause Club at Starlight. And they are going to be announcing a professional soccer team that will begin playing in Swope Park in 2016. So the Swope Park Rangers. That's cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah. So I can send you the information, or you can forward it to you. I'll forward it to Carmen so she can send it out to you guys. This weekend we have some Halloween events going on at the Shoal Creek Living History Museum, one safe and one scary. So there's a daytime event for kids and then an evening event for adults. The Day of the Dead is taking place at the Kansas City Museum. And then you can see here on your list, there's all kinds of things going on through the end of the month. Beginning of November, we have our Wilderness Run. And then on November the 12th, we're doing the Skywalk Memorial Unveiling in Hospital Hill Park. So other than that, you'll see our social and website numbers are down. The website visits were down from the previous month of August, which was our biggest month ever in the history of our website, but still quite substantially more than the website visits at this time last year, 12,000 more. People come to visit the Loose Park and just the parks in general. Parks and shelter reservations were still top page visited, and then Swope Park. So social media numbers continue to escalate with 300 additional plus Facebook fans this past month. So that's been really, really busy. And then Twitter is about 200 more, and Instagram's about 100 more. So those just keep building, and it's a great way to reach our audience. And thank you for the tweets and the retweets and the likes and the posts. Oh, yeah, okay, Mark has right there in front of him 4 awards that we were presented last evening from the Visitors' Choice Awards with the Visit KC, former Convention and Visitors Association. We won Best Fountain. It's always a shocker. We are competing against ourselves in the category, and it's always J.C. Nichols, obviously. Only visitors, people who live outside 50 miles, can vote on these. And then we won Best Golf Course, and that was Swope Memorial. And then the Liberty Memorial National World War I Museum won a couple of things, Top Monument, and is it Best Museum?
Yeah, it's on
Our favorite museum?
Wow.
Blue piece of paper has it listed there.
Yeah. So we always show well at the Visitors' Choice Awards, and Mark and I are always proud to get our picture taken with those plaques.
They're really cute. It's
Yeah.
a nice.
And then they gave us decals too to put up at like the Memorial Golf Course. We can put it up there in the door and probably stick this one here instead of on the fountain somewhere.
Good call.
Okay.
We also were received some awards from Pitch magazine as well. The best of Kansas City. The Bay Water Park was actually the best place to get wet. And the Brush Creek Trail was kind of most underutilized amenity. So I don't know, that's kind of backhanded compliment. And then the Swope Memorial was Reader's Choice for favorite golf course. So.
Favorite park, I think.
Was it favorite park? We were in a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of different
All the
categories.
foodie stuff in there, you know.
Yeah, so it's a big publication, but we show proud there too, so. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Heidi.
Okay, I don't see anyone signed up for public hearing. Calendar review?
Yes, Commissioners, one other thing I'll mention on Saturday, over at Satchel Paige Stadium, MLB, of course, is in town for all the action with the ALC playoffs, and of course, looking forward to the World Series. They hosted an event where they did some filming of youth play ball.
Yeah.
And of course, this is MLB, and we had some youth from our programs. A lot of young folks came from the Boys and Girls Club RBI program, and they had, I think, Willie Wilson, George Brett, a couple of former players that were over there, Mike Sweeney. And got some good video and some good social media on that. And there again, that was on Saturday over at Satchel Paige. Of course, today we had our meet and greet with the council, and Starlight has a board meeting now. I think they're
Not rescheduled.
the 28th, right? So the 22 goes away, right? So they're on for the 28th, and then the Friends of the Zoo annual board meeting is also on the 28th. And then I heard Randy talking yesterday, he may move the time of that meeting. It's all about baseball. So that time may be adjusted once we figure out when the ball game starts. Of course, we know we have one starting in 14 minutes as well. So anyway, that's still on for the 28th. Also, I think Carmen sent out to you a notice of a public presentation on the cultural plan. I believe it's at the 28th too. This is the work around the Nelson Gallery. They've done comprehensive planning with their consulting team, and that is on the 28th at around 6 or something like that. There's I think an email out on that particular one. And then, as we mentioned earlier during our discussions with the City Council, tomorrow, leaving the 21st, the area planning for the museum, we're looking now at the 16th of November instead of tomorrow evening. So that was a change in schedule in the month of October. And then I think November's as usual, right? So maybe changes on that one for now.
Great. Thanks. All right. Only comment I'd make is I'm very pleased to see that our Gold Award
Yeah.
runner-up plaques are now posted next to the logo, and again, it's about time we start bragging about how good we are. With that being said, we are adjourned.